You may be here because something inside you feels heavy. Maybe you're carrying a kind of confusion that has been building for months or even years. You might be replaying moments that didn't make sense. You might be remembering the way she looked at you or the way she spoke to you and wondering why you felt so small when you gave so much. This video is here for you. It speaks to the person who has been drained by a woman who shows strong, narcissistic traits. It speaks to the person who tried and kept trying until the trying turned into exhaustion. It speaks to the person who spent nights thinking about what went wrong, even when deep down you know the truth. She never planned to meet you halfway. In this video, you will see the patterns clearly. You will understand why her behavior hurt so deeply. And most importantly, you will understand why, the moment you learned certain things about her, staying quiet and walking away is the only path that protects your peace. Let's begin. Recognizing the signs early. When you start paying attention, patterns become impossible to ignore. The confusion, the doubt, the exhaustion, all of it is part of a bigger picture. You begin to notice that her words and actions rarely match up. The warmth you felt is often followed by coldness. The support you hope for feels conditional, based on what she wants or how she feels that day. These are the moments where clarity hits. You start seeing the small, repeated behaviors that chip away at your peace. Every excuse she makes, every blame she throws, every time she dismisses your feelings is part of the pattern. It's not about one mistake or one bad day. It's the ongoing cycle that wears you down. Understanding these signs early doesn't just help make sense of the past. It gives you the power to protect yourself now. It shows you why staying silent and walking away isn't giving up. It's reclaiming control. This is why the first sign is so important. Once you notice it, everything starts to make sense. 1. She never takes responsibility for her actions. A woman with strong narcissistic traits will protect her image at all costs. She will not take responsibility for the damage she causes. When something goes wrong, she places the blame on you or someone else. Her mistakes turn into your mistakes. Her choices turn into your burden. You may have noticed that every conflict ends with you feeling guilty, even when you tried to be patient or kind. This happens because she rewrites every situation in a way that makes her look right. Her focus is on protecting her ego. There is no room for your feelings or your truth. Over time, this behavior drains your confidence. You begin to doubt your memories and instincts. You question your reactions. You carry blame that does not belong to you. This is why learning this secret is a turning point. Once you see that she will never take responsibility, you understand that nothing you say can change her. You understand that silence and distance are the safest choices you can make. 2. She uses your personal information against you. At first, she may have asked personal questions in a warm or curious way. You may have felt safe enough to open up. You may have believed she was listening to understand you. But later, you began to notice a pattern. She didn't keep your private moments safe. She stored your words like ammunition. Whenever she felt threatened, she brought up your fears, insecurities, or past stories in ways that hurt you. This is not something you imagined. It is a form of emotional control. When she uses your personal information to shame you or silence you, she is showing you a side of herself that is not compassionate. She is showing you that your vulnerability is not respected. She is showing you that she is willing to use your deepest truths as tools to overpower you. This is not what healthy connection looks like. Healthy connection protects your heart. Healthy connection listens with care. Healthy connection makes you feel steady, not exposed and unsafe. Realizing this truth is painful but powerful. When you learn that your personal information is not honored, you understand that the safest response is quiet distance. You protect what is yours. You protect your peace by stepping away. 3. She shows two completely different sides. A woman with narcissistic traits is often skilled at creating a public image that looks charming, warm, or admirable. People outside your relationship may think she is thoughtful or kind. They may think she is generous with her time or energy. But behind closed doors, you experience a different side. A cold, dismissive, or critical side that feels completely disconnected from the way she behaves around others. This split between public behavior and private behavior is not your imagination. Many people with strong narcissistic traits shape their personality based on how others see them. Public approval means more to them than genuine connection. They perform kindness, but they do not offer emotional safety. This leaves you confused. It makes you feel isolated because nobody sees what you see. You do not feel understood. If you ever try to explain how she treats you, people may doubt you because they only know her public side. Understanding this secret is one of the most important steps in your healing. Once you realize that she shows two different faces, you know the truth. You know that nothing you say will change her behavior behind closed doors. You know that the part of her that treats you well in public is not the real version of her. The only way to protect yourself is to leave the room quietly and not return. 4. Your feelings do not matter to her. With a woman who carries narcissistic traits, your emotional experience becomes invisible. When you share your hurt, she may dismiss it. When you show sadness, she may act annoyed. When you express fear or insecurity, she may act as if you are exaggerating or being dramatic. You may have noticed that her feelings matter more than yours in every situation. If she's upset, the world stops. If you're upset, everything keeps going. She expects understanding, patience, and empathy from you, but she rarely gives any of it back. This creates emotional imbalance. You become the only one giving. You become the one who comforts, reassures, and stabilizes the relationship. She becomes the one who takes, demands, and expects. When your feelings are constantly dismissed, your identity begins to fade. You stop sharing what hurts. You hold everything inside. You become emotionally quiet around her because you already know what will happen if you speak. Seeing this truth clearly is the beginning of freedom. When you understand that your feelings do not matter to her, you also understand that staying will only bring more pain. Leaving becomes the moment you reclaim your emotional worth. 5. She controls you with shifting behavior. This pattern is one of the most exhausting. Her behavior changes depending on her needs. Some days, she gives attention and affection. You feel hopeful. You think something is improving. But then, without warning, she becomes cold or distant. You feel confused again. You start wondering what you did wrong. You try to fix it, even when you didn't cause anything. This cycle repeats over and over. The warm moments create attachment. The cold moments create fear. You start chasing the warmth because it feels rare. You hold on to the good moments because they feel special. But that is the trap. The good moments are not consistent. They depend on her mood, not on genuine care for you. This shifting behavior creates emotional dependency. You begin to settle for small moments of kindness because they feel better than the coldness. But the truth is that a healthy relationship does not swing between extremes. A healthy relationship gives steady emotional support. Once you realize this pattern, you understand why staying hurts you so deeply. You understand why your heart feels tired. And you understand that the only way to break the pattern is to step away quietly and refuse to return to the emotional chaos. 6. She tests your boundaries again and again. A woman with strong narcissistic traits does not respect boundaries. She pushes limits to see what she can get away with. She watches how you react when she says something cruel or does something hurtful. If you stay silent, she pushes more. If you try to explain how you feel, she dismisses your words. If you forgive her too easily, she learns that you are willing to tolerate her behavior. Over time, she tests your patience, your emotional strength, and your loyalty. She creates situations where you feel guilty for asking for basic respect. She creates moments where you feel weak for wanting stability. She may even frame your boundaries as problems instead of essential parts of who you are. This pattern is not accidental. It is a form of control. When someone repeatedly tests your boundaries, they are trying to see how much power they have over you. They want to know how much you will tolerate. When you learn this truth, everything becomes clear. You understand why you constantly feel tense. You understand why you feel like you are never enough. And you understand that you can never win this emotional game. The moment you realize your boundaries are not safe with her is the moment you know it is time to leave. Trust your feelings and intuition. After seeing all the signs, it's clear that your feelings were never wrong. You might have spent months or even years doubting yourself, blaming yourself, or making excuses for her behavior. You may have thought, maybe I overreacted, or maybe I just didn't understand her. That is exactly what someone like this wants, for you to question your own mind. But the truth is, your feelings have been guiding you all along. Every time you felt uneasy, upset, or drained, that was your inner voice telling you that something was wrong. You didn't imagine the tension, the frustration, or the emotional roller coaster. All those feelings were real and valid. They were your signals saying, pay attention, protect yourself. Now it's time to listen to that voice again. Start noticing your instincts. When something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. When you feel uncomfortable, stressed, or unsafe, honor that feeling. You don't need her explanations, apologies, or excuses to validate what you felt. Your mind and heart already know the truth. Trusting yourself doesn't just help you see the reality. It is the first step in taking back control of your life and protecting your peace. Reclaim your boundaries and space. Once you see the truth about her behavior, it's time to reclaim your life. Your boundaries are your own, and they are completely valid. You don't have to bend or break them to keep her happy. You don't have to accept disrespect, manipulation, or constant testing of your limits. Every time she crossed a line, it chipped away at your confidence and your sense of safety. Now, it's your turn to rebuild that. Reclaiming your space isn't complicated. It can be as simple as saying no, stepping away from a conversation that feels harmful, or limiting the time you spend around her. It's about protecting your energy. Every small action matters. Every time you enforce a boundary, you're teaching yourself that your feelings and needs are important. You're proving to yourself that you don't have to live in fear of being manipulated or controlled. Creating distance and boundaries also gives you clarity. When you have space, you can see the situation clearly without being pulled into constant drama. You can make decisions from a place of calm instead of reacting to chaos. This is how you start rebuilding confidence, self-respect, and a sense of control over your own life. The more you practice it, the stronger you become. You start understanding that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Choose your peace and your power. Once you accept the reality, you hold the most important tool in your hands, the ability to choose. You get to choose peace over chaos. You get to choose relationships that feel safe, steady, and respectful. You get to decide who deserves your energy and who doesn't. Walking away or creating distance isn't giving up. It's a deliberate decision to protect yourself, your mental health, and your emotional well-being. Choosing your peace also reminds you of your value. Every time you step back from unnecessary drama, every time you refuse to be manipulated or drained, you are sending a clear message to yourself and to the world that you matter. Your time, your feelings, and your energy are important. You have the right to say no. You have the right to protect your heart. You have the right to feel calm and safe. This is where real strength shows up. It isn't about fighting or proving anything to her. It's about standing firm in your own truth. The more you choose your peace, the more you rebuild confidence, clarity, and a sense of control over your own life. You are not powerless. You are not weak. You are reclaiming your life one choice at a time. If you see yourself in these patterns, your pain is real. Your confusion is real. Your exhaustion is real. None of this happened because you were weak or unworthy. It happened because you cared, because you trusted, because you believed in connection. You gave what you could. You tried to love someone who did not know how to treat you with care. Walking away is not failure. Walking away is strength. Walking away is how you reclaim your peace, your dignity, and your emotional safety. You deserve calm. You deserve respect. You deserve to feel steady inside your own life again. If this video speaks to you, let it remind you of your value. Let it remind you that your feelings matter. Let it remind you that you deserve relationships that feel safe and steady. Keep choosing yourself. Keep choosing your peace. You are stronger than you think. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all.